Hey Geek family, we're back and we've got another movie review. This one is for the Irrfan Khan and the Rishi Kapoor film D-Day. And I'm Nathan.
I'm Rachel.
Trinity.
Troy.
Yes, we were able to sit down and watch it. I know I originally said I was going to put it out on Twitter and Instagram, a poll to see which movie we were going to check out, but to be honest, I forgot. So we just went ahead and picked D-Day. We had originally said we were going to do Boot, the Ghost Ship.
No, we weren't.
And then we got
Extraction.
absolutely nobody saying to watch that. Everybody said don't watch it. So we was like, okay, we put a poll up. Extraction or Boot. Extraction won that. I was like, okay, cool. Then the tragedy that happened with Irrfan Khan and Rishi Kapoor, we decided to go ahead and watch a movie with them. So we went ahead and picked D-Day. But real quick before we go into our review, just want to say thank you guys again for all your support on the channel. And if you can guys hit the like and the subscribe button, followed by the notification bell. Bang! All right, just real quick thoughts. There is going to be spoilers ahead. Spoilers. So
If you haven't watched it,
if you have not watched it, yes. So 3, 2, 1, and we're starting it now. So overall review, just real quick heads up, what we thought of the movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Personally, I liked it a lot. I thought it was done very well. The twists and turns that you had in it, I thought were really good.
Yes.
It did have a little bit of a slow part in the middle with, what was his name, Rudra?
Yes.
And his love interest, I think she was a prostitute. And there was just a really slow moment, and I understand why they did it. It just kind of, the movie was moving along really good. What?
He couldn't remember how to say his name, so we asked.
Oh.
Don't be exposing me like that.
I exposed you because I can hear you. So yeah, it slowed down a little bit. I understand why they did it. It just slowed down a little bit for me, but it didn't ruin the movie. And you kind of understand some of the stuff that happens a little bit later on. I guess why they decided to delve into that the way they did. But overall, I enjoyed it.
Awesome movie. It was a really good movie. 2 thumbs. Way up. Who says that? Who said that? Who said that?
Siskel and Ebert.
No, not him. That's not the one I was thinking of.
2 thumbs up. That was them though.
I know it was them, but somebody else said it. Hades from Hercules.
2 thumbs way up.
2 thumbs way
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Remember they were on fire? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Had a childlike moment.
I really enjoyed it. The turns were good. Some parts I was a little confused on.
Yeah, like 7:30 hours.
Yeah, we'll get into that
Yeah,
in just a little bit.
30 well, because they didn't put the 2
We'll get into it
dots.
later.
You're supposed to.
Later.
Jordan. Okay, well now that everybody's calmed down a little bit, I really enjoyed that movie. That was a really good movie, and it's a couple parts that actually surprised me, and I thought they done amazingly well on it. I like the whole setup of the movie, how something happens, you don't really know why, but then it'll go back, and once you really pay attention, you see why it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a really
exactly.
good.
Like the retelling of it, kind of.
Yeah.
It was good, but it's not something that I'd watch again. Like, cheesecake is good, but I'm not going to choose cheesecake when somebody asks me what kind of cake I want. Get what I'm saying? I like to watch movies. I like to watch movies, but I'm not going to choose that movie to watch it again.
Cheesecake is not.
Cheesecake is not a cake. Cheesecake is a pie.
It was
It's a
good,
dessert.
it just wasn't my style of movie.
So real quick, we're going to kind of do a little bit of a recap of the movie. I did wanted to, we jotted down a few notes here.
Yeah.
So I did wanted to mention.
Like that long
Yeah,
ago.
it's I don't know if you how it was in so. So the opening scene I thought was really well done. It showed them they were preparing for the wedding. It looked like it was the party ahead of time, and so you see the actual the plan that they had enacted taking effect. But at this moment, you don't know. The movie just jumps right into this, and you see everything taking place. You see Irrfan's character Vali.
Yes.
He's kind of checking out the security thing, and they kind of go through and they do all this big thing to capture Rishi Kapoor's character.
I cannot remember his name.
I can't either. It was spelt funny, and I had a hard time hearing how they were pronouncing his name. I like the whole opening scene, and the way it kind of went down, and the way it fades out. You think maybe Vali shot somebody, because it all cuts it back, and then it backs up.
All you hear is a gunshot.
Yeah, you just hear the gunshot, then it backs it up and says, "This is however many days before that operation. What was it, Goldman?"
Yeah, Operation Goldman.
Operation Goldman took place. So, and then you kind of watch the team get together. They all start getting everything situated, and picked out. You see a little bit more of Irrfan's character, Vali, and his wife and son, and everything. He's a barber, but it's just a front because he's basically a spy trying to figure some stuff out. And he ends up keeps running into this guy that's part of the bad guy's crew, I guess you could say.
Wasn't he his original target? The reason why he was being used as a barber, quote unquote.
See, I don't remember that specifically.
I thought he was the main target.
Because
he was the target to get to Rishi Kapoor's character because he worked for Rishi Kapoor.
It probably was. But yeah, he keeps running into him. But every time you see him running into that character, it always looked like it was an accident, though. Outside of the barbershop.
Yeah.
Outside of the barbershop.
Yeah.
What was that, like the airport or bus station or whatever they were at, where they initially ran into him. And then the second place was when they were selling Semtex. He was the guy selling it.
That's when all the S hit the fan, too. And that's something else we wanted to get into.
Because he's supposed to be on the cover.
Yeah.
And then the guy seen him buying Semtex and all that.
Yeah.
He's just supposed to be.
Wait, was he the one
barber.
selling it, or did he walk?
I think he was the one. I think he was
the one
coming in.
selling it.
Yeah, he was selling the Semtex because the guy they were buying the weapons stuff from said the guy's personally delivering the Semtex.
Yeah.
And boom, he walks through the door and he's like, "Whoa!" And then it's kind of like a standoff.
I missed that.
And then it all goes down. At that point, though, he knew that he was more than just a barber.
Yeah.
And so stuff
That's the second time.
started going down. So big gunfight battle took place.
How that guy died was horrible, by the way.
He ended up, there's a part, I think it was Rudra characters ended up using a sewing machine on the guy's hand.
Talk about that, please.
Best scene in the movie.
That was pretty.
That was
That was pretty
awesome.
painful. But they ended up getting them all and getting their Semtex and getting their guns and stuff. Yeah, and then right before everything gets put into play, you see Irrfan's character Vali. He wants to send his wife and son off. He wants to send them to London.
Because I think he wanted to do that. This is just my personal opinion. I think that the character wanted to do that because he knew that if he was caught, they would have been.
Yeah, he wanted to get him out of the country. Yeah, because if he knew he was caught, then they were in trouble. And so he drops him off at the airport. He takes off. But now this is the one scene I didn't quite understand. He got 3 bodies from a morgue, put them in his house, set his house on fire.
Yes.
I mean, I get to make it look like they died in a house fire, but even at the crime scene, the police even said they're supposed to be on a plane to London. Like it's almost like they knew they weren't even in the house to begin with. Like that's why I didn't understand.
Well,
because she told everybody.
That's after she told everybody.
That he was sending them to London.
And also their flight got canceled.
Because
of the
volcanic
Because there was
eruption.
yeah, which he didn't know about, which ends up getting his wife and son captured basically.
And which makes them believe that that's why they got caught in the first place, or blown the cover.
Well, it is why, because they remember he had the perfumed pencils that he took from there when they went and did the recon of the area? He gave those to his son.
To his son, yeah.
And when his son was drawing, he put it down, the cop picked it up, and he goes, "Where did you get these?" He said, "My papa gave it to me, give it back."
Yeah. And
I remember that part.
Because he looked at that pencil and realized that that's where that dude was staying at, and so he's starting to put 2 and 2 together.
And that's why he called, and
Yeah.
they found out, and they were on the phone with them, and then things blew up, and then chaos ensued.
But again, the fire though, his wife had told a bunch of people, "Hey, we're flying to London, we're flying." So a lot of people knew that they weren't even supposed to be in the house to begin with. So to me, that looked weird anyway, because if they all knew you were away from the house, why burn it down with 3 bodies that are supposed to be you? And
Well,
your
because
family?
they probably wanted them to get out of the country.
Yeah.
So that he burns the house, thinking that they're already on their way out of the country, leaving. So then everyone there thinks that they're dead.
Instead of going out of town.
Yeah.
So they are not looked for in case he does get caught.
Right. I understand. I understand what the overall thing was, but what I don't Anyway, I thought that part was a little wonky, but that's okay. It didn't ruin the movie. So then you had Rudra's character. He was basically in love with this woman that he kept visiting. She was a prostitute. And she obviously had feelings for him as well.
Yes.
Now, here we get back to another confusing part, because after you see the opening sequence take place where they try to capture the bad guy, well, it falls through, because when they captured his wife and son, again, that he didn't know had been captured at this point because he didn't realize about their flight being canceled, they got the heads up and they were able to get people to go after the guy instead of it being a smooth transaction of like, hey, we take these few guys out, boom, we grab the bad guy, we're out. Now all of a sudden all the security personnel is swooping into the parking garage, and that's where everything kind of goes down and he gets away. Where they connected, because they knew who at this point they started piecing two and two together. Okay, well this girl right here, she was, so they knew the girl, female member of their team member. Everything that happened with her, they realized she was in on it. They realized Valley's character was in on it. I think at this point they knew that the driver was in on it, Aslam. What was the girl's name? Zoya?
I think so, yeah. Do you want me to look it up real quick?
No, it's okay. Zoya. And then, but I specifically remember them saying they didn't know who the military guy was.
They didn't.
They didn't.
Yeah,
So this is where I was a little confused. And then how did they get to the prostitute then and kill her? Was that just a random coincidence?
That's what I was thinking, because like if somebody comes into a prostitute's room all the time, I mean, you're gonna notice who it is.
Right.
And the fact that they only knew about her but not him.
Yeah.
Even though they went out in public all together a lot.
That
was a little confusing.
Yeah, I just was confused there because he shows up at her place and then she's dead. She's found dead, and you see the nephew of the guy. His hands got blood all over his hands. He wipes it on.
Okay, you remember how you just
Rudra's
said
character.
that if you're there a lot, if you're in a prostitute's room a lot, people are going to notice.
Yeah.
The nephew got a phone call. Do you remember the phone call? Where he was like, the brothel, she's there, ? He was asking these questions on the phone. So someone recognized him, someone knew who he was, and someone spilled the beans. That's how she got killed.
But again,
But who is the question?
They didn't know who he was. Though.
Yeah.
No, they didn't know who he was, because if they did,
Because they didn't know
Matthew
what
would have
he-
killed him instead
So
of
then they
wiping her
basically
blood on
killed
him.
her for no reason.
Was they didn't
They
didn't
killed her
know.
to flush him out.
Right, but they didn't. What I want to try.
Yeah,
I guess
they
what I'm
didn't-
trying to say is, how do they even know he was even in it? Because they didn't know who he was, what he looked like, or nothing.
I don't know. That part was never perfectly clear.
So that was another little bit confusing, or maybe I just missed it. Maybe we just
We may
missed
have
something
just
that was said in it. So when that whole thing happened, that was kind of confusing. But sorry, go ahead.
I say anything.
No,
I
Jordan.
just don't want to cut you off or anything.
No, I'm sorry. I get on the roll and it's hard to.
I do want to say that the whole like killing part where like he's walking up the stairs to a room and like he's like imagining everything happening. That was literally one of my favorite parts. Like I thought that was so well done, and it was just really good overall.
Except for the fact that she gets
That was one of
Yeah, but it was
Trinity's.
still like very cool that they, made it to where he's walking up to the room, but he's just like imagining everything happening.
And
like
she's
how it went
looking
down.
at him.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he sees the evidence left behind, so he's picturing how everything went down. And in the meantime, it's playing this really beautiful song while it's showing a horrible thing
that
happening.
was really nice.
Like a very horrific thing is happening, but the song that's playing is really beautiful. And at the same time, like he's walking through it.
Song
Well, yeah,
for a sad moment.
but she's making eye contact with Rudra even though he's not there. It's just one of those things where they didn't really make eye contact, but for sake of the song and the scene, the emotional context of it, they did that. And I thought it worked very well. It was a very
And
heartbreaking
actually,
scene.
spoiler alert, the nephew did not actually kill her. She killed herself.
She killed
Very
herself,
true.
yeah.
Very true. But she was
Beaten already.
and violated by
she
him.
was-
That's what caused Rudra to do what he
One
did.
thing I don't understand about that part is how come since she grabbed the blade and cut her wrist, why didn't she just stab him in the neck?
Well, you can't.
I don't know.
It's
It's just something, I don't know.
it's just the way they wrote
Well,
it.
she was already beaten so bad, she probably, because that wouldn't have killed him like instantly. She
Stab
probably
right
would
here?
have thought,
Yeah.
Or right here in the
She was-
side. That's
That's
probably
glass. If you hit a bone, it's gonna break.
Yeah.
yeah
But-
inside their body.
But she figured she was already about to die, and she didn't want to go through that or be scarred like that. So she just went ahead.
because she already had that
The scar
She
on
had
her
a
cheek.
really
scar on her
bad
cheek,
scar on her cheek.
which
Yeah.
Rudra ended up taking care of that guy later in the movie.
Oh,
she,
yeah.
she pointed him out at like a little diner type place, and then he followed him and just got in the car with him and just slice, like, and that's it. He was gone. Took care of her, went back, and then she washed him off. And I think that's what started that really long,
He should
drawn out
have.
scene.
He should have had her go there with him, and then.
That's what I thought. I thought maybe he was gonna have him look at her and basically say,
But
"This is what you did, and this is why this is happening."
but maybe he didn't want her to see. him
Yeah, probably. You
kill
didn't want
him.
her to see anything like. But that's where I kind of thought it was going. But so yeah, you get that really heartbreaking scene where it's replaying everything that happened with her, and which totally devastates Rudra, and you see like the rage in his eyes right after all that happens. He
Yeah,
wants
he goes red,
nothing.
though.
He does big time. He wants nothing but
He wants blood.
wants blood 100%, and he almost gets it sooner rather than later, but the driver, who was part Aslam's character, Aslam, he's really jittery. Like a lot of the time you see him in the movie, he's very jittery. And right after their first attempt to capture him fails, he's super jittery. And you're watching the movie going like, okay, he's gonna screw up. He's way too jittery. Something's gonna go down. And of course, what does it do? He goes to like these shipping container. He's trying to get out of the country, and the dude he goes to meet's dead. And of course, there's the nephew character. I don't remember. And then he gets captured. He's getting beat to a pulp.
Yeah.
And they're about to take him out in the cars. Well, that's where Rudra comes in. Bam! Smashes into the cars. Big old fight happens. And he almost gets the nephew character there.
He was messing up everybody.
He
was kicking the crap out of everybody.
The only thing that made him stop is when he seen the driver.
Yeah.
No,
get out
people
the
were
car
shooting
that
at
was
him.
with-
They started
Yeah, but he
shooting
was
at
about
him.
to shoot the driver when the driver fell out of the car, and then he realized it was him who did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he had to carry him all the way back to the.
To that
Like
Safe
a-
house,
safe
yeah,
house.
safe
hotel,
house.
or whatever they were.
Yeah, carried him all the way
Yeah.
back there. So now it's is it at this point that Vali realizes that his wife and son have been captured, or no? He thinks
He thinks the
He
wife's
thinks
dead.
that the wife
Yeah,
is
he
dead
realizes
because
that's
he's
right.
watching the TV, and then on the news it shows a picture of his
Oh,
son.
yeah.
that's right.
And
It says
saying, you know,
that
come-
she's dead, and if there's anybody.
Any
Yeah.
relatives or
Yeah.
anybody,
Which he knows is a setup to try to get him to come forward. So they basically devise a suicide plan
Yes.
to finally take the guy out, and it was going to be at the bad guy's son's wedding. And they kind of go through and they play it. They show you as they're speaking it. They show you it as it happens. So they're going to go through Vali and Rudra. You know, they realize they're going to get shot up and killed. And Aslam's going to get killed. And Zoya was basically the one that's supposed to drive through, get shot up,
And blow
blow the car up and kill everybody.
No, actually, it
No.
was Aslan that was supposed to do that. She was supposed to go through the first two barriers. He was supposed to go after her. She was in front.
Oh, I thought she was the one that had the detonator.
She had a detonator in her hand, yes, but so did
Oh, okay.
Well, no, I thought the switch was on the tire.
No, the switch was on her hand on the steering
It
wheel.
was on the
Her
steering
steering wheel.
Steering wheel,
was-
that's what I meant. Yeah,
and
steering
she
wheel.
ratchet strapped herself to the
Yeah.
steering wheel into the
Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah.
So you had this big old suicide last thing, like, hey, we're going to take him out no matter what. And then it gets messed up because as they're waiting in line to go through to do all this, he starts leaving. He leaves, and they're all confused. like,
Because the
"What
cops
heck?"
are going to kill him, right?
Yeah, because everybody he with, they're all getting they're getting tired of him and all the headaches they're bringing down on him and everything. So the general, which is part of his bad group and all that, and the corrupt police force and all that, everything there, they're like, you know what? It's getting too much. We're just gonna kill him. But they want to take him back to India for prosecution. They've had multiple opportunities to actually kill him.
Yeah.
But they want to take him back. Well, actually, mainly Vali wants to take him back. Rudra would have killed him the very first time they
They
got him.
Yeah.
That's why Volley did the warning shot,
Yeah.
which you found out later is the warning shot instead of actually shooting somebody.
Yes. And then so finally you get this big old meet-up shootout.
Actually,
This
on
is
the way back. No, they capture him and then they call the boss.
well,
Alright. And then after they call the boss, you know, he starts talking to
Volley.
Volley, you know, sweet talking him, saying, you know, I can get you
I
to
get you to see
see
your family.
yeah,
this, that,
your
and the other.
wife's still alive. You can call him right now if you let me have a call. And you know, everything goes down. And it at first it makes it seem like they're all just actually like arguing at each other because Volley wants to, you know, let him make a call.
Yeah.
Your military guy does not want him to.
Yeah.
And so Volley goes off and shoots him in the leg.
And this is the movie scene we watched the other day. So
Oh, right, okay.
yeah, this is the movie scene we watched
okay,
the other day,
okay.
which we were kind of like, oh, it's good. But having now seen the movie, this scene made
Made so
way
much
much
more
more
sense.
sense, way more impactful, and you see all this go down. So now you understand why when him saying, "I can talk," you can talk to your wife and son. Why that's a much more bigger deal than just seeing the scene. So I understand, you know, again, why it's better to watch the whole movie, not just scenes, but yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
But anyways, after that, then they return back to the safe house with head honcho himself.
Yeah.
And this whole time, you know, you're still in a loop of confusion. Because Volley's like, you know, I'm going to take them and
Yep.
do a trade-off for my child.
Yeah.
And the whole time, you know, Zoya and the military guy are just kind of left out of this. And actually, what's really got me, like, really confused is, you know, Zoya was trying to help him out because he tied him up after he shot him. And then
Yeah.
as she was trying to help him, Volley came and, like, just, like,
Slapped her?
slapped her.
Yeah, smacked her.
I think
she said
it's-
something about him.
I
She
think-
said something negative to
I
him.
think it was all part of the the plan though.
Yeah, well, we haven't got to that. Sure.
You realize after Violet leaves with him to take him to go give him the trade.
Well, Aslam, we mentioned Aslam was dead at this point.
Aslam was dead.
Yeah,
He blew
Aslan
himself
blows
up.
Which I don't get.
Which
that
was a
part.
confusing scene. I didn't understand.
Well, he did it to try to kill him.
He tried to kill him, yeah.
But
It just
didn't work somehow.
it seemed like
He
everything
didn't
was
kill the guy.
no. It seemed like it was already going in their favor, so that's why I didn't understand. I didn't understand him going
Well,
like.
he just wanted to end it there, and
I guess.
But why?
because he would have got the general and what is the Hefe's name?
It just says Goldman.
He tried
Okay.
to kill Goldman and the general at the same time, and it somehow did not work. Only blew up 2 cars, and it wasn't that
I'm
big of an
double-checking.
explosion. But
It wasn't not as big as they showed in the preview plan. If it went into
Yeah.
in fact, that was a massive
like
explosion.
enough to kill everybody at the party.
that's what I. That's
Well, that's
what it
what
looked
they
like.
said that they wanted to do was make sure that nobody survived the party. Yeah, it always everything says Goldman. Nothing says.
Okay, because every time they said it in the movie, it was like started with an I, his first name. So okay, go ahead.
So Wally takes Goldman to go trade him.
Yeah.
And at this time, Zoya. Why do I keep forgetting the military guy's name?
Rudra.
Rudra.
Rudra?
Yeah, Rudra.
R-U-D-R-A.
Oh, Zoya unties Rudra, and he's basically, like, we gotta go.
Yeah, because he tells Valley this whole time, you realize they're gonna kill him. They're gonna kill you and him. Like they don't even want him back. They want him dead.
So
He put him in the
at
trunk
this point,
too.
you're still in confusion, like, wow, is he really about to do this?
Yeah.
And so you see Volley throw Goldman in the trunk, and
Yep.
then it's him taking off.
Yes.
And then you get to the point where Volley is coming up to the
Like
I think it
checkpoint.
was Outpost 40 or something like
was it
that.
Outpost 40? I believe it might have
Yeah,
been. Yeah, Outpost 40. And,
Isn't it
you know,
basically-
they already knew that they did
Think
not
so.
want him. So
The general
the
dude's there.
general comes and he's got like a massive
He's got a lot of dudes
group of
there.
men with like heavy machine guns
Yeah.
and everything. And as soon as they see him, it says fire, and they just start shooting the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, I can't ruin that part yet. So after
Oh.
they shoot him,
Oh, you know what? We completely skipped over
what?
his wife and son.
What about them? They're not dead yet.
Yes, they are.
No, not.
Well, I mean, but he knows what's gonna happen. Like he talked to his
Talk to his
he
son.
talked to his son that night before. So Goldman let him talk to his son. So his son, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come pick you up on the
Bike.
on the bike, and he's like, mom's in the next room talking to people. He's like, okay. So he basically tells his son, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow to pick you up. And then he leaves, heads to the border, but knowing what's gonna happen to him, knowing he's gonna die at the border.
My
But I
question
think
is-
he knew too. Though I think he knew that it was over for his family anyway.
That's what I was wondering. Did he know that his family was going to die as well?
I think he did. I think he knew that something was going down with his family, and there was nothing he could do about it because they knew he was a part of it, and that they were gonna. They had his family, so he wasn't getting his family back. So he already knew that. So I'm pretty sure he knew something was gonna happen. So yeah, sorry. And then he goes to that checkpoint, which is right there on the Pakistan-Indian border, and they just light him up.
Yeah.
Which was not cool.
After Volley dies, or you see his car get flipped because he actually made it through the gate, which was surprising because he's been
Because as many
shot.
times as he's been shot.
Yeah,
so
he got
gets
shot in the
shot.
arm, chest.
Yeah.
And they just light it up because they want to kill both of them. And then he gets hit by RPG, flips the car.
Yeah.
And after that happens, then it switches to Zoya and Rudra. And you hear banging in the trunk.
Yes.
And at this point, you're like, what is going on? And they go
Yep.
back and open it, and it is Goldman. Bali took a different vehicle,
Yep.
and it was basically a setup. So while he went to Quadrant 40 and got blown up, nobody was at.
Yeah, just two guys.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was
no,
two
he
guys.
went to 35, they went to 40.
Are you
I
sure?
think.
Anyway,
I
something like
think
that. It was two
35.
different ones.
Yeah.
Did I switch it up? I think I'm.
I don't
I
know.
think
But
you're right.
so
They
they
don't
only had to deal with two guys, which
They took
No
care of
match
it
for
quick.
Rudra.
Which
Yeah.
Rudra still got shot in the leg.
yeah, but that dude was a
Yeah.
beast like the whole movie. He was killing everybody. But he kills them two, and then you figure out that they have Goldman and that they knew the plan all
Yeah.
along, and like the whole setup where they were arguing and
Yes.
Volley shot
Yes.
him was all just a setup for Goldman to trick him.
So
Yeah.
wait,
Because you
my
see, as
question
Valley
is,
and Rudra are talking, Rudra gives him a nod, and that's when Valley shoots him. They set that up.
did it
perfect.
have to be in that particular? I mean, never mind.
Yeah, it has to be in that order because that's the order we learned it in.
No. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. Never mind.
Because when they're talking back at the one last safe house the night before when he talked to his family, he's Ruja's reminding him like, hey, you realize what's going to happen? Basically, that
Yeah.
you're going to die and we're going to take Goldman. He's like, yeah, and you see where he had him tied up. He shook his hand. So they both knew what was going down. So he knew that he was going to put him in the trunk of the car But
why keep the info from Zoya? That's what I don't understand. Why not keep everybody in the loop so Zoya doesn't?
I don't know. You would think you'd want your full team's cooperation.
Maybe
Well,
maybe to get a genuine reaction out of it.
Yeah, because the less people, the more people that know, the less reaction you're gonna give. Especially like
True.
out of all of us, if me and you didn't know something but they did, we're gonna have a real reaction towards it. So it's gonna look realer towards them than if we all know.
Gotcha.
But I guess you do still run the risk, though, that Zoya could have maybe popped Valley during that scene, too, thinking like he was turning bad or something. So, but it all worked out.
Then they have to cross no man's land.
I thought Rudra. I thought he was gonna die there. 'Cause
Rhoda?
I did, too.
They were shooting so many bullets at him.
Yeah, the
He got
general
shot
rolls up
again.
with like 3 or 4 jeeps or mounted guns, and they're just shooting
Yeah,
at him.
They have stormtrooper aim
Yeah, it was-
And once they got to the other side, they could not do anything because
because it was on India's.
Yeah, they were on India soil.
Yep.
They could not shoot them.
That's pretty cool. He's like, they're on Indian soil. And they're like, all right, stop firing.
Yeah, they literally just
And
stopped.
that's it. You're like, oh, dang, man.
No
all
matter
right.
what.
I wish
they
that
just
worked
did.
everywhere.
Finally get Goldman on
What's
Indian
war?
soil. But then this is where you find out that they poison his Valley's wife and son.
So,
Yeah.
Because he
Man.
went.
Which really was not cool.
That was a horrible scene.
If only
pissed
if
me
Valley's car had a dead switch, he could have just drove in there.
the sad part about it is,
Yeah.
of course, they killed the son first, so the mom has to watch
Try to get help, and of course they're ignoring her. And
on purpose, and she.
And the soldier's watching it. He's just.
it sucks too because you see the little kid. He goes. He's like he doesn't want to drink the milk because it smells funny.
funny.
And she's like, go ahead and drink it. And then you're like, then it shows her drinking her. I think she had tea.
Yeah.
Coffee.
And you're like, oh man, coffee or tea. And you're like, there you got poison. Yeah,
If I
it's
knew
just
something else when
poison.
you said it
I
smells.
hope the
funny.
poison was quick at least.
For him, it
Yeah.
was. For her, it seemed like
I'm
it
sure it was
took a
very
while.
painful because it was horrible. They showed him foam coming out of it. It was really
Yeah,
bad. It was a
can we not talk
bummer.
about it
Super,
anymore?
super bummer.
But that kid is super good.
Was
at
not expecting such a downer of a scene in this movie. At least where his family was concerned. I thought maybe he would die, but not his family. But yeah, I was like, oh.
And they-
That was not cool. It was unfair, and it shouldn't have been done.
Not
Anyway.
only to mention that, all these deaths that happened, soon as Goldman gets on India soil,
They shoot.
unfortunately,
He goes a long speech
He gives a monologue.
a nice
saying
monologue.
how
He's gonna do the same thing he was
He was
doing the
doing
whole
before
time. It doesn't
in
matter.
Delhi and Mumbai. and-
Yeah, Mumbai loves him. Yada yada yada. Boom. Shot.
In the
Rudra.
head.
No,
He-
not-
he
the
shot
second
twice.
Shots in the head.
Yeah.
Third shot's in the head.
Second.
Third.
Is he shot 3
He
times?
shot
or
like
2
in the
times?
leg and then like in the arm, and he falls over. He falls on his knees and then he pops him in the head.
And speaking of, did you
That's
guys
right,
notice
yeah.
like throughout the like the commander or whatever, general?
Yeah.
When he's like trying to figure out who's doing all this, and he pulls up pictures of all the dead like associates to him, and they all have that same exact spot bullet hole in their head.
yeah.
I remember that at the end when I seen that, I was like, it was him.
It's,
It's
it's probably his signature.
It's
His
Rudra. That's a
signature
signature
kill.
pop, like right there, right between your eyes.
But after he kills him, he of course pulls his shades off before he.
I think it was the first time you saw him without his shades the whole
Yeah.
movie
I
too.
think it
Goldman.
was, yeah.
And then kills him, which is kind of a bummer because he's like, he just killed him anyways. You could save a lot
That's-
more lives.
that
but-
was the
Done
one
it a
scene
long time ago.
because Valley said not to kill him earlier because Rudra wanted to kill him earlier. And Valley said not to because you would just make him a martyr. But then he killed him. But I don't like only if you killed him on foreign soil would that make him a martyr. But unless you kill him on Indian soil and then you just basically cover it up and so nobody knows what happened to him. I guess there's that. Like maybe they shot him, but as far as the rest of the world knows, he just disappeared. Like he's just put away somewhere. So maybe that was the reason. Bless you.
Bless you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But yeah, ultimately killing him, and they.
I like the fact that he said that was the first time he actually enjoyed killing somebody.
Yeah,
Oh,
out of all the
'cause
people he killed.
He
Yeah,
was basically a hitman
yeah, that's
for
yeah.
his government.
Yeah, that was a good line. That was the first one he actually enjoyed. And then they ride off into the flat desert, off into the sunset, and that was the movie. It was absolutely enjoyed it. We did have one funny moment while watching it. They did give you timestamps, like how many hours before and after Operation Goldman happened. There was one moment. It said 0730 hours after Operation Goldman.
No, it just says 7:30.
0730 after Operation Goldman,
07:30.
and Trinity and Troy thought it meant 730 hours.
I did because
after operation, we're like, no, it just means
because I'm so used to them putting the 7, the 2 dots, and then the 30, but they didn't do that. It was just 730.
We're like, no, it's just 7 hours and 30 minutes after.
I don't know why you-
And so yeah, that was our viewing of D-Day. It was we all enjoyed it a lot. Definitely a good movie.
Because you find
Yes.
there's usually scenes you can see after the fact once you've seen it
Yeah.
the first time that you'll catch a second time. Or third time.
But I know there's also a bunch of other movies starring Rishi Kapoor and Irrfan Khan, and we will get on to checking those out. But we wanted to go and pick that one where they were in together. I thought it was absolutely good. It was a good thriller movie, executed very well. Twists were really good. So awesome movie. So yeah, thank you guys again so much for all your love and support on the channel. You guys are awesome. Love y'all.
Love you.